FXBros.
So people, let's get the screen up. Yeah, check everything out. Looking at the charts as is on the 4 hour on Australian dollar, we have been in this kind of consolidated range ever since, I would say, Thursday, March 20th. And right now we are Sunday, March 30th. So in that 10-day window, I mean, really, we pretty much at the same price we've been on Thursday at 9 a.m., 8 a.m. on the 20th at the same prices. So yeah, we ain't done much. Now, if we zoom further out, we know the story is still we coming from major sales from October last year. So everything still stems from that. So we go back up here, you'll see September, October right here. October 1st, we sell off this sweep of structure to the upside right here. Was something you can't really just build something on because it just basically took out the highs and it traded right back under. So that was on January 6th. So that was the first sign of us potentially having some kind of bullishness. The second sign was where price took out that high, that fake out. That was January 23rd. So still in January, we were kind of undecided because right after that, we sold right back off into those lows where we were on January 6th. The lows of January 6th, we sold right back into that to end off the month. So that was pretty much a toss up. We had low points taken out, we had high points taken out, so nothing really happened. Then on February, you get a major sell off, and I'm not sure what that was. I don't know if that was tariffs. I don't think there was. I think inauguration was in January. So to start out February, we get a major sell-off, taking out all lows from January, and now we start to build bullish structure. It wasn't until February 20th, a little bit past halfway point, is where we get a high, and then we start seeing sales. Now, the sales, based on all this buying we've been doing, the sales didn't have any structure built into them. It just kind of just melted. It just sold all the way throughout the end of September and found a bottom to start off with March. And so far, we just look at March, just that month. I would say from the beginning of it, we are building a low and somewhat building bullish structure, but it's just that the structure we did develop starting on March 10th, that low, and then pushing higher, we right back at those prices pretty much. So I'd say based on what we coming from October last year and the fact that these lows are getting taken out, I would like to see some buys set up if that's going to be a potential. I see that more than anything because I just look at sales. I'm like, sales have more than enough time to activate. Whether or not it was the failed notion of taking out the previous high from February 20th, with this high on March 6th, that could have sold off and got us back in the sales, or at least tested this leg, this bullish push from March 3rd. We never even tested their price, and we still in the end of March, coming up on the end of March, and not to mention the end of the first quarter. So with that being said, I like buys. Overall, I would like buys to activate. It just looks more plausible to me. Second, so that would that's what March did. Like I said, the lows barely got swept by a pip, half a pip, and now we start to build in some bullish, somewhat bullish momentum. And we'll be starting off the second quarter within this week on Tuesday. That's the 1st of April. That'd be funny if we get a big sell-off as an April Fool's joke. But yeah, let's pull back up all the drawings I have. Let's look at the weekly range that happened. If we look at this start of this new week is right here. Last week was here. Let's go Sunday right there. This was last week. Last week didn't take out the low range of the previous week, and basically the only thing we swept was 50% of the previous week range. So we pushed up bullish and swept that 50% range, which is right here at 63, 24, 25. We swept that and then sold off. But like I said, still can't break these lows at 62.70. Like we tried to right here on to open up the week. Actually on Sunday we sold off. Damn. Okay. That's nice. That's a good little trigger. Get us in the buys, testing those lows. So yeah, we didn't take out none of the highs. So let's see how we react to the previous range, which is a very small weekly candle. If you look at this, it's the previous weekly range. Pull up something right quick. Get some background noise going. We're about to set the parameters for the previous weekly range, which is this green candle right here. Only thing I can say about wanting buys, the weekly is not even setting up. Now, then again, I mentioned it last week. I said normally when we get a bearish or bullish, any type of engulfing candle, the setups we look for, the engulfings we get on a weekly, typically, more so than not, typically we see the following week following that trend. So if we get a bearish engulfing, the following week should be also a bearish candle. It don't have to be the same type of size as far as the body. It could be a smaller candle, a doji, indecision, any kind of that. But if you notice, these previous two bearish engulfings been rejected with bullish candles and strong bullish candles. Because if we look at this one came all the way up to where it just ate up all of what that did. Same thing with this one, the body. This candle came all the way up from that body. So we're not seeing a lot of continuation week on and week out like we did if you look at the previous weeks in that last quarter of last year. You see this bearish engulfing for this September 30 going to October 1st. And what do you see? The new trend, the bearish trend. One thing I can say, this is the COVID levels, but this level right here, which is pretty much one of the worst years during the pandemic, that little pandemic 4-year stretch-ish, 2022 lows, we took that out from that sale that started in October. So that's like kind of, in my book, that's a sign leaning more towards, okay, we're ready to buy up. We did what we need to do for the lows. Now we're ready to buy up. How high are we going? That's the question. Because we still may have a potential to test these pandemic lows way down here, 55 cents. So yeah. I know another good thing as far as looking at this this wedge we broke out of during October. We've been retesting it damn near almost twice. The second time wasn't this smooth of a touch, but if we break above this area, that'll be a first little step. But regardless, getting a bullish engulfing would be nice too. But we need some bearish candles for that to even happen. You know, at least 2 or more bearish candles before we get that bullish engulfing. But nonetheless, if we get a bullish candle and we take out these highs, I'll take out this trend line. There's a high probability we could be running up for a bullish continuation. Too soon to say just yet, but like I said, we are starting a new quarter, so hopefully that first quarter was just a little, shaking the trees out, getting all that dead weight off, so we can push higher. Everybody got to take losses, so get all those people out. People that didn't want to continue with trading, people that got out the market, get all that out, and then continue back with the trend that we were trying to build. Let's see, sorry, quick changes. Let's see. So yeah, let's do the previous week so we can get that range real quick. So I pull out my fibs, go from the low to the high, and bam, we have our that's 50%. Okay. So we got the previous high, we got 50%, we got the low. So let's set those first since we're within range. So we have this low. We'll move that here. You know what? Text previous. Low. It's not big enough. I tried. I thought I was good. I thought I can enlarge that text. Might be something bad. Let's get the range. 50% range, which is here. Line that up. And then we got the high. Previous weekly high. And we drop that down to the 4 hour. And we can see what we have. So we have the low here. Previous weekly low. 50% of that range and the previous weekly high. And currently, we damn near almost swept the previous weekly low at the open on Sunday right now. So that's good. Let's get out of this field. That's good. What's up, brother?
What's happening, brother?
You already know. So yeah, like I said, this current consolidation we kind of been sitting in since the 20th of Thursday. If you look here, the previous range kind of is dead center of that. So that's pretty much what we're playing with. We got a previous high, we got a previous low, which we almost swept. I would like to see buys break out, as I kind of broke down the whole reasoning from the sales we got in October. I know the weekly, as far as these engulfings, are not really lining up with the continuation pattern that we usually accustomed to. So I don't know, the market's in a little funk right now with the first quarter. So hopefully the second quarter will open up more of that pattern recognition of the Australian dollar that we kind of used to. Because right now it's been a roller coaster without the seatbelts.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It was a little low earlier, but it's a little bit better.
Let me.
It's better now though.
What about now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I would like to see buys expand higher. It would be nice. It would kind of make sense as far as why the previous week couldn't break old lows from March 10th with that structure. Kind of held there. Like the week before last week, we did take out some highs on Monday, even though it was stemming from Friday. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We'll take a look at the news in a little bit.
Yes, it has been like stupid choppy.
Yeah, crazy choppy. Crazy. Take a look at gold is doing tremendous. Actually, did it break? No, it did not break, but it was reaching for 3,100. Never before seen. That motherfucker got to 3,000. Hold up. 3,097. $3 away. But yeah, we're currently $15 away from 3,100 on gold. So gold is doing like amazing. Like it's to the point to where like it's shocking when you I had a friend that took the thinnest. I'm talking about, bro, it was so thin you would think this thing was fake. And I forgot what carat it was. But a gold chain to the pawn shop just to go get some money and got $200 from that shit. But and I know you don't you haven't seen the chain, so you really don't know. But bro, it was like, first of all, if somebody was trying to sell me a chain like that for 200, I'd be like, boy, you tripping.
Damn. What? How
Yeah.
many? Did they know how many carats and stuff?
I don't know. That's why I didn't. I forgot to ask them because they was in there for a little minute. I forgot to ask them what did they say the carat size was or if it was on there. But I would think it was probably in the range of like the 14, potentially 18.
Right.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just it hit me when they got that much back for it. And then it dawned on me, I was like, oh yeah, gold is running up. So yeah, anything that's gold is like very valuable right now. Even the earrings I got in my ear right now, they worth more than what I paid for 'em.
Thanks.
That's a fact. um, let's see. So yeah, gold is doing nice. Hopefully, if you can buy gold. $1 pushing higher. Let's see what's UJ big sale coming off a Thursday with a bearish engulfing on a 4 hour.
Damn.
Big sale on UJ. So I like that though. I like that energy. I like that energy because that's building clean traffic. I like when roads are getting built. That way I could drive down with no
Thanks.
traffic. That's like new development. I mean, it's a new neighborhood getting developed. I like that. I
Big
like to see
thanks.
development.
For real.
But but yeah, so we might be in a good scenario. Maybe we could catch buys. Who knows? Kind of got a weird little channel we've been in. If you look at it on the daily on UJ, so maybe we could bounce off of here and catch some buys. Who knows? But I like that energy though. We got a bearish engulfing on the daily too. So currently, it's talking sales. And if we break this low of 47.20 or 47 flat, um, yeah, it's a nice sale. So maybe before we get into buys, we definitely could capture some sales, depending on if we get a retest up. But yes, we do have movement on UJ, which is nice to see. Let's see, GJ pretty much following the same pattern. A lot of moves, like a rejected after touching this area. I was waiting for that, so that was a point to sell. AJ still on his bearish trajectory. It sold out too with a bearish engulfing with a lot of force. And this is all coming from Friday. EJ pretty much the same thing. So yeah, the yen is very strong with moving these currency pairs like that. So something is going over with the yen. They must be figuring things out with the economy. People trying to build back up. Or maybe they eating off of these tariffs.
Oh, that's a fact.
Are they spending a lot of money because of these tariffs? Who knows? But it's a lot of activity going on. Even look at the VIX, and there I go. See, the VIX up 15%. Like a lot of
Damn.
activity going on. Big volume.
For real.
Look at that. VIX
Wow.
pushing. So yeah, that's a lot of activity. Let's see, S&P. Look at the daily on the S&P on these indices. Still selling off, attesting the recent low created from the major sale. It was just like February 20th. All markets started to trend lower. I think that's when we really were looking at tariffs and first hearing about the plan of action or implementation of the tariff. So we look at that date, February 20th, US 30. We go to February 20th. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. We go to February 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. 20th, US 30. Right around there, that's when it broke out, go to the downside. Like it's starting to retest that low too. NASDAQ, same thing. NASDAQ actually broke the low. I don't know what's in NASDAQ, but whatever it is bringing it down.
NAS 100, yeah.
What's is that the top 100 company besides financials?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it's something like that. So yeah, man, it's top electric. I don't know, but anyway, somebody in that 100 click is not doing great. They actually broke that low. US 30 is kind of further, obviously, because it's only 30 companies, so that might be more of a tilt. But S&P is the big daddy, and that one is pretty much at the low. So if we break that, then watch out for the news. There's going to be a lot of news about, what's going on with the markets? Are we selling off? Is this the first signs of a recession? You're going to start to hear all this type of talk.
Thanks.
Hopefully they give gold the same kind of props they're giving her all this negative news, which they rarely do. They let that happen in the background. I know I got a lot of news on Bitcoin pushing up to 87 grand, 88,000, trying to creep up into 90. But as you can see, it's now trading back into that old low 80s, 81, 82,000. It's struggling right now. It's not struggling for the big guys, but the people who truly trying to get their footing in crypto is not looking good. If you started in December or anytime this year, you're probably not that happy with crypto. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm like I said, what I'm calling it, I'm calling 72,000. I'm thinking the market want to find some areas down here to start buying it. And I think it's up to the hedge funds and the Black Rocks and all these people to figure out some kind of scenario to get it down there so they could like overload and purchase like a record breaking amount of Bitcoin. I think that's their approach. Everything is on sale. Ethereum back on sale. XRP is look like it's trying to creep under $2, which would be a great buy. Got an area down here, 175, 170. Don't have a lot of green coming from crypto right now. As far as some of the top stocks, Nvidia is at 109, which is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy because I'm used to seeing that one up here. Shit, see all that consolidation was up at 140, 145. 109, approaching 100. Yeah, that's crazy for Nvidia. So Nvidia is considering a partnership with Intel to produce smaller gaming GPUs as Intel develops a lower power 1.8 AP node, addressing Nvidia's reliance on TSM amid rising demand. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
I'm about to say that's a perfect buy.
I knew that was going to happen. Especially, I ain't going to say I knew before, but with all this, when DeepSeek came out, and really, that's what that was. That's what that was. That was that DeepSeek shit.
Yes.
That little sell-off, that little joke that happened in February. I forgot. That was that bullshit. But yeah, when that shit came out, that kind of let people know that was like Walmart. DeepSeek was like Walmart, but they ain't got really the footing or the money to be Walmart just yet, potentially.
Yeah.
That was just them saying like, hey, we could basically support the American family at a cheaper cost, like versus going to all these other big box stores and in different places to furnish your house or just buy different things for your livelihood or your lifestyle. Deep Seek was Walmart. Like, it's a potential that people may not want all these luxury items. Like, you know, it may be a potential to where the world will be shopping for clothes from Walmart, like the whole fit, shoes and everything. Like Walmart may sign a deal with Reebok. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And just like how Kohl's has a cutout insert of Sephora, you never know. You might see a cutout insert of Reebok selling in Walmart or some shit. Like I could see it happening. But yeah, man, that's what that was. So Nvidia is really trying to figure something out, and I think that's what that was. Smaller gaming GPUs partner with Intel. Lyft is had a big red day on Friday. Back at 11:57. I think Lyft is just patiently waiting on something to happen.
Yeah, for
Uh, but that's kind of been their game. Uber
real. You
been more
buy and hold that for a year or two at least,
shit, nigga.
or 3 at least.
I would say that's like a decade play on the cool.
Yeah, you ain't lying. 5. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, minimum 5 years. Like, yeah, 5 to 10 years, like a whole decade.
Facts.
Because they got a long term play. Like it's more and more people, you know, verbally talking about like, oh yeah, I make money on the side. I do Lyft or I do Uber Eats or I do DoorDash. Like that's gonna become the most common thing. Like it's gonna become so common to where like people are probably I could see somebody doing it, especially with all the foreigners moving over here. I can see somebody starting a business with kind of teaching somebody on how to be a good driver in that field. Like that field is going to be so lucrative to where I'm going to teach you how to be a good people person, how to pay attention, how to be courteous, all that type shit.
Yeah.
Like it's going to get to that point to it. Like, nah, this is a viable full-time job, you know. Just like how we had that technology craze when everybody was fixing laptops. Like I got into that field and working on cell phones and building all this shit. Now all that stuff been gone to robots.
Facts.
Overseas. So yeah, pretty much where everything at. TSM, see what they at. TSM is tanking. Tesla, yeah, they got a lot to figure out. Tesla is kind of losing their footing with just customer support and like customer morale and shit. Like people shitting on their name right now. Like it's not looking good. But yeah, let's take a quick glance and see if something we could use with this news.
Facts.
Let's see. Again, right quick. All right. So Sunday didn't really have too much, nothing but just the Chinese one. Monday, like we got a lot of Euro news coming out at 11, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. A lot of CPI, so EJ probably gonna get some volume. We'll see how strong it's going to be against that yen, though. That yen been pushing all them pairs down. So we'll see what that look like. Might be a potential. Monday, we got AU news, no USD news. That's coming out at the AU news coming out look like at 5 or at 3. Yeah, 3 or 5. Is it? Yeah. Also, we have retail sales for the Australian dollar coming out at 5:30, and interest rate decision coming out at 9:30. So we're gonna have some heavy AU movement on Monday evening. Tuesday morning, we got Jolts 7 a.m. Or maybe this looks like this lining up, but I don't think we have news till about 6:45. Oh, this is ahead. So I think Jolts is at 9. And this is at 8:45. Okay, that's my bad. It's ahead. My bad. So all those times I was saying I was ahead. So this is gonna be 11:30. I got you. Wednesday, ADP unemployment change 7:15. AUD balance of trade Australia services PMI that's coming out at 5 and 7:30 on Wednesday evening. Thursday, you already know, jobless claims 7:30 in the morning. And Friday, we have NFP and also a speech from the Fed at 10:25 on Friday. Depending on how things look, I might go live, have like a little late live.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, catch that action.
Yeah, catch that action. Catch some of that NFP. But yeah, man, that's what we got. Look like for the most part, especially if you want to catch EJ, might be a scenario late on tonight if you up there late. If not, we do have news uh, that night, Monday night, for AU interest rate decision and retail sales. So there's gonna be some heavy movement for AU. So yeah, the things are looking good. We'll start off with a lot of volume in a week, and it'll trend down lower, and then we'll crank back up on Friday with NFP.
Yeah, it should be some decent movement with those news. Like you said, there's got some high news coming in the beginning of the week, Monday, and to end it on Friday, and just see how that plays out. But should definitely have some opportunities with it being like that.
Yeah. See the AUD. We said it wasn't really a big range, but we just crossed above that 50% range from last week. Yeah, bro. What you think as far as for the week? I know it's we kind of stuck in a range, but you got any kind of bias you leaning more towards?
I really don't, bro. Honestly, it's been very choppy. Um, these last last week was very weak. Um, so yeah, it can. I don't have a bias for the week. I don't, which is a good thing. I think the we in some scalping times. You know, we in some in and
Good
out.
profits.
Yeah, man. This is like session trading.
Right.
Um, be in a trade for 4 hours max type of shit. So for 8 hours max. So you know,
So this
and
is
things
not
may
the
change.
season for overnight sleepers. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I would agree. They haven't been playing out that way.
Yeah. So I would just, you know, yeah, I'm gonna go into this week without a bias. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking at everything tight. If I'm in a trade, New York session, you know, by 1 o'clock, you know, I'm out of there type of shit. I
Right.
don't think I'll be carrying stuff into the next day. Just treating it a little bit tighter. Yeah, the overnights are not. Yeah, those are not hitting. So yeah, maybe just have to let this play out.
That's a bit. Well, yeah, man. We can wrap this up. We'll be back probably Tuesday morning. See where we at. See how the week is taking. See what Monday did. Especially with AU news coming out so heavy tomorrow night.
That's a bet.
Get any kind of movement. But I was gonna say if you got time, we could chop it up a little bit after this.
Yes, yes. I
But
already got the.
just stay on here. I'm gonna end the live right now, but just stay on the stream.
Okay, cool.
All right, brother. All right, man. We're gonna be out. We'll see y'all Tuesday morning.
Peace.